Sigma, Sigma boy, Sigma boy, Sigma boy. That's been an interesting turn in the title race. Hello and welcome back to another episode of This Week of Football. This week has blessed us with European football as well as Premier League football this weekend. So let's get straight into it. So to briefly touch on the European football that happened this week, Liverpool went to Girona and got 3 points, which means that they're automatically qualified for the next round of the Champions League. John Duran was Aston Villa's saviour in Germany with a 3-2 win over Leipzig. And the only English team to not win in the Champions League this week was Manchester City, with a 2-0 loss coming into Turin against Juventus. Manchester United played away from home this week in the Europa League and won 2-1, with Tottenham going up to Rangers and getting a 1-1 draw away from home. And in the Conference League, Chelsea went all the way to the dark side of Europe to play in minus 17 degrees, but also ultimately winning their game. But now that the European football is out the way, we move on to the Premier League, starting off with the Manchester derby. With Manchester City only winning once in the last 10 games, Pep Guardiola was determined to change that around today. And on the other hand, you have Almiron at United, who hasn't had the best start since he's joined and is trying to change his fortunes. And with all this at mind, you're probably thinking, wow, this is going to be an exciting game, end-to-end football. It was the complete opposite of that. For about 90% of the game, it was just boring and dull. Nothing happened. It was just dead. Obviously, City went 1-0 up with a Guardiola goal before half-time, and honestly, other than that, nothing happened. However, that all changed in the last 10 minutes, with Manchester United getting the pen and Bruno converting it. With this newfound momentum with the equaliser, Manchester United kept on pushing and eventually got their winner, coming from Amad Diallo, and what a fucking goal it was. Genuinely could go down for goal of the month, if not goal of the season. In my personal opinion, don't attack me. And with that Amad Diallo goal, Manchester United won 2-1 in the Manchester derby away from home. That means now Man City's record goes to just 1 win in 11 games. That is insane. Now imagine telling someone that from last season that Man City would only go on to win 1 game in 11. They wouldn't believe you. However, for Ruben Almiron, he has finally won another game since beating Everton 4-0 at Old Trafford. And what a game that is for him to win. After all the emotion from the game died down, Manchester United player Rasmus Højlund put a post on his Instagram mocking Kyle Walker. Manchester is red, violets are blue. What a brilliant performance, but the Oscar goes to. You know what, lads? If you go on to win a derby like that and you go on to rattle a rival player like that as well in the same day, fair play to you, mate. You know what though, if I'm Kyle Walker, I'm just giving up with football. All the stuff surrounding him on social media right now is just not positive, and honestly, lad, leave the football before the football leaves you. However, moving on from Manchester, we go 40 miles down the M62 over to Liverpool. This week saw 10 men Liverpool take on Fulham at Anfield, which resulted in a 2-2 draw. Honestly, I'm just happy Jota's back. Give me the points, I don't mind it. Andy Robertson got sent off in the first half of this game, and honestly, it made it so much harder than it had to be, but you know what, the Reds got the job done. The Liverpool-Fulham game saw some unusual sights, and no, I'm not talking about Gravenberch playing centre-back. I am talking about the Fulham fans.
Come on, cross.
Is that it? Is that really it? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of these people who's like, oh yeah, 4 slims, yeah, get the badge in here. But genuinely, them celebrations were honestly terrible. It was so bad. You go 1-0 up at Anfield, right? You got the game in your hands, and that's how you're celebrating. Not one bit of noise. It was dead silent. Honestly, nothing against Fulham fans. Like, I know a fair few myself, and they're very sound people and that, but honestly, like, I don't get how they were that silent. For how in control of the game they were, their fans was just silent. However, for Liverpool fans, I think the atmosphere is what got the boys over the line eventually to get the draw. However, moving from noisy neighbours to nosy neighbours, Everton went down to the Emirates and got a 0-0 draw away from home. Everton never shone so brightly. Lad, thank you Everton for getting a draw against them, lad, because that would have ruined my weekend. Arsenal's problems are just getting worse when it comes to scoring from open play. They just don't seem to have that man who would just stand in front of the goal and score. And it's getting quite evident now that this is a major problem for them. Relying on set pieces to win a game against Everton. Sean Dyche Everton. Nah, you're in a different world. If there's one team in the league that know how to defend set pieces, it's a Sean Dyche team. And alongside that, Arsenal fans haven't been doing themselves any favours either. This is because Arsenal fans put up a mural of the set piece coach. I mean, putting up a mural of the set piece coach to then go and score no set pieces is fucking hilarious. Who has a mural for a set piece coach? Like at Liverpool, look, we got a mural for Firmino, mural for Salah, mural for Ray Clements, you know what I mean? All these all-time greats. We even got one for Jurgen Klopp in town, you know what I mean? Like, it makes sense. But for the set piece coach, I mean, look man, Sean Dyche said it better. Also woke nonsense. However, a little positive from that game was that Everton fan from Australia, Mackenzie, got a ticket in the away and then got to see his team play one more time before heading back to Australia. And you know what, Everton, fair play. Staying in London, however, we move over to Chelsea. I said this for a a while now. Chelsea are Liverpool's biggest rivals in the title race. Chelsea beat Fulham. No, they didn't. Chelsea beat Brentford 2-1 this week in a West London derby at Stamford Bridge, and all I can say for Chelsea is that they are very convincing. For me, Chelsea are just 1 or 2 signings away in January for genuinely being serious in the title race. I mean, same with Liverpool, but with Chelsea, it just scares me because they actually do have the budget to just buy whoever they want. And for Chelsea as well, they only seem to be getting better as the season goes on. People can say that they're going to fall off or whatever, or that they don't have the legs for it, but you know what? You just can't be too sure. Chelsea this season have been very good, and as I said before, have been very, very convincing with their wins. However, for Brentford, away from home, they have not been convincing at all. With only 1 point still away from home, Tom Frank has got a lot of problems to solve out. And you know what? If he does manage to fix the problems of the away form, Brentford can still go on to challenge for Europe. And if this team manages to continue this form as they did this weekend, then they'll also be back in the challenge for Europe. This team being Tottenham Hotspurs. Look, lad, I just don't know where to begin with them. They win 5-0 this weekend. They lost 4-2 last weekend. They're probably going to lose 6-2 next weekend because they're playing against Liverpool. But anyway, after losing 4-2 to Chelsea last weekend, Tottenham turned their fortunes around with a 5-0 win away from home at Southampton. It's like they played bad for like 4 or 5 games, and then all of a sudden they're like,
nah, you know what? We're going to switch on.
Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But ultimately, they got the 3 points today, and that's all that Tottenham fans are going to be bothered about. However, with that 5-0 loss to Tottenham this weekend, Southampton did go on to sack Russell Martin. I mean, for me, it was very, very overdue. Southampton are bottom of the league with only, 5-6 points? And genuinely, the football they've been playing this season hasn't been the best. However, they still somehow play amazingly against us. Like, it doesn't make sense. They fucking play us again on Wednesday, lad. Why am I saying all this? I'm actually scared now. What the fuck? Southampton are now going to have a new manager bounce when we go down to St Mary's in the week. Sick. However, Russell Martin was only the second manager this weekend to be sacked. After the 2-1 loss at home to Ipswich, Wolves decided to sack their manager Gary O'Neill. And for me, I think personally, it was very, very harsh. Now, obviously, that's not to say that their form has been terrible. They are in the very, very bottom of the table for a reason. But I just think personally that the results just don't tell the full story for Wolves. I feel like everything that could have gone against them, which was not in his control, ultimately did. Because for me, I just don't think Wolves have been as bad as they have been on paper. I mean, look, they gave Man City a good game. Man City won the game in the last minute. That speaks for itself. They gave Liverpool a good game. Liverpool won the game on a penalty. Again, it speaks for itself. A 4-1 win away to Fulham. Lad, that is phenomenal. For them, that is incredible. But sadly, the results just haven't been going their way, and nor has a lot of the officiating in the league. Do I think it was the right thing for Wolves to do? Not really, no, because who else can they actually bring in? However, do I think Gary O'Neill is happy to leave Wolves? I mean, probably, you know, because you know what, lad, I genuinely reckon he deserves better. Anyway, final topic of today's video, the Old Firm derby. Today, the Old Firm derby kicked off in the Scottish League Cup final. However, the spectacle for me was not the game itself, but was everything that happened before the game. I mean, where to start, lad? It's this I can't even fucking speak. It's just too funny. Before the game, the Rangers fans decided to take it upon themselves to do a little Santa dash. Running around town with ballies and Santa hats on, it was the perfect combination for a great game of football. And anyway, with the Old Firm, that is the end of today's video. If you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, and if you didn't, just leave a comment down below to tell me how I can improve on this series going on into the future. Please make sure to subscribe and share the video to someone who may enjoy it. But until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.